Dear viewers, welcome to the new Daily Report. The crypto community celebrates. Donald Trump is the new president of the USA. Bitcoin, on the other hand, surged to a record high before the votes were even counted. Today, among other things, we bring you: in the early morning hours, the price of the leading crypto surpassed $75,000 and reached a new all-time high. Is breaking the magic number and the exceptional psychological level of 100K already possible by the end of the year? BTC is now soaring. To the moon, of course. But what will win in the short term, FOMO or profit-taking? That is, are there new records or a correction for the biggest crypto in the coming days? Will Donald Trump really be a crypto president? We will get a concrete answer to that question after the inauguration and after getting early indications of his sector-related policies. Stay with us in the Daily Report, only here, only on the Cryptoverse news channel. The new Bitcoin price record is approximately $75,350. And while the vast majority of analysts and investors expected that the jump to the all-time high would indeed occur after the U.S. presidential election, few predicted such a tremendous and immediate price increase. An increase that took place even before it was completely clear that Donald Trump was again elected the president of the USA. It came as a surprise, especially considering that just the day before BTC slipped below 69K. But today, just after midnight Central European time, Bitcoin started to rise and first effortlessly broke the resistance level at $70,000 and then also its previous all-time high at $73,700. With the current record, it is very likely that the leading cryptocurrency has definitely broken out of the months-long consolidation and is entering the last, most exciting stage of its bull cycle. What is particularly interesting about this BTC price spike is that last night's pump took place at a time when there was no ETF trading, that is, when the stock exchanges were closed. In addition, yesterday ETFs recorded a net cash outflow of over $116 million after a $540 million loss on Monday, which was the second largest outflow in history. In other words, despite the hemorrhaging of ETFs that have been the main driver of Bitcoin's growth since their launch in January, with total net inflows of $23.5 billion since then, someone was buying and pumping the price. Therefore, the question arises, has retail woken up? Is the time ripe for the real crazy retail FOMO that drove crypto through the bull runs in the previous cycles? We'll see if that is the case after the euphoria subsides a bit and after the market digests the news that Trump is returning to the White House, the news that was positively perceived as expected. However, if FOMO really kicks in, Bitcoin, which is now in the price discovery phase, should find itself on that upward trajectory where constantly hitting new records is practically normal, until the peak of the cycle is reached, of course. Nevertheless, there is also downside risk, especially if a massive profit-taking occurs. This could lead to a stronger correction, but certainly in a shorter time frame. However, in general, the market is bursting with optimism, and a large number of analysts do not foresee a deeper dive. For example, the popular economist Alex Kruger believes there is a 50% probability that BTC will never trade below $60,000 again. Of course, the scenario of Bitcoin rising to 100K by the end of the year has an increasing number of proponents precisely because of FOMO amid high expectations from Trump's presidency. As for further short-term catalysts, now that the election is over, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve, which will announce its decision on interest rates on Wednesday. As you can see, according to the CME Group's FedWatch tool, anything short of a 25 basis point or 0.25% cut in interest rates would be a huge surprise, so that decision is likely largely priced in. However, what will be interesting and possibly have an impact on the markets are Jerome Powell's comments after the decision announcement, especially considering the upcoming change of administration. As always, in his speech, Powell will provide some indications of expectations and future actions of the U.S. Monetary Authority, and these messages are analyzed in detail and have a strong impact on investor sentiment. Today it was crazy with altcoins as well. In fact, a significant number of them outperformed Bitcoin with daily growth at double-digit percentage rates, which again sparked the debate on whether this is the beginning of the alt season, and if not, when it will occur. If we look at the top 100 cryptocurrencies, Uni, Avi, Ina, Lido, and Injective are the top gainers. On the other hand, the top gainers among the biggest cryptos are Sol and Dogecoin. At the time of recording this report, Solana's token was trading at 13% higher, while Dogecoin's gains were 12.5%. As you can see, in fact, the complete market is green. As for Sol, the rise can be attributed to the increased expectations that Solana will get its ETF now with the new Trump administration. VanEck and 21 Shares have already filed for Solana ETFs, and analysts now believe that approval could come as early as the first quarter of next year. According to some projections, this could push Sol towards surpassing Ethereum's current market capitalization and reaching a price as high as $1,000. It is important to mention that due to this growth, Sol has now exceeded the market cap of BNB and become the fourth largest cryptocurrency behind BTC, Ether, and the largest stablecoin, USDT. Dogecoin is also growing, due to being backed by Elon Musk. Dogecoin fans are celebrating Donald Trump's victory, which could lead to Musk taking over the announced Department of Government Efficiency, acronym of which, of course, is Doge. And it is quite certain that Musk will continue to push his favorite crypto, especially now that he has the levers of executive power in his hands. So are we at the beginning of the altcoin season? BTC dominance rose to 60.6%, which represents the highest level since 2021. Such spikes in Bitcoin dominance usually precede the alt season, in which capital rotates from Bitcoin to the rest of the crypto market. However, Bitfinex analysts believe that it seems the time is not yet ripe to shift the focus away from BTC, and the altcoin market cap could experience a further decline against Bitcoin in the medium term, primarily due to speculators' apathy. Today's surge in altcoins price, as seen in the example of Sol, could be attributed to the immediate reaction to the expected improvement in regulatory clarity and the new administration's more lenient and proactive approach to cryptocurrencies. The thing is, the new regulations concerning digital assets are much more important for smaller cryptocurrencies than for BTC, whose status is practically completely regulated. The decline of BTC's dominance and the beginning of capital pouring into smaller altcoins could take place in the first quarter of next year, with the first actions or hints at actions by the new administration. According to popular analyst Benjamin Cowen, the price of Bitcoin will continue to rise in the coming months, which is completely in line with the previous cycles. However, Cowen points out that BTC's dominance could face a long-awaited reversal around the end of this year and potentially kick off the preseason of altcoins. So, will Donald Trump really be a crypto president? It will take a few more months before he can make the first concrete moves, so it is not a bad idea to remember what Trump promised the crypto community. His first move, he said at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, will be to fire the hated chair of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler. In addition to the symbolic significance of this action, it is important because the SEC, under Gensler's leadership, took a tough stance on American crypto companies with an aggressive attitude and interpretation of the law. Such policies resulted in the compliance costs of the crypto companies exceeding $400 million, $400 million that could have been invested in development. Whether Gensler wanted to stifle the crypto industry, whether he is acting under someone's influence, or simply honestly believes in the need of regulating the sector according to the existing securities laws, is unknown. But it is quite certain that the departure of the current head of the SEC will be met with excitement in the world of digital assets. However, it is important to mention that it is unclear whether Trump can even dismiss Gensler without cause, although it is common practice that SEC chairmen resign, allowing the new administration to choose a successor. The former and future president vowed to stop the launch of a U.S. central bank digital currency CBDC. He also promised to support the Bitcoin mining industry in the U.S. and to advocate for the right to self-custody. And perhaps the most resounding was the promise to establish a national Bitcoin reserve. We also should not forget the announced release of Ross Ulbricht. Ulbricht was the creator of Silk Road, a dark web marketplace that allowed users to sell anything they wanted in exchange for Bitcoin, including illegal products such as unregistered weapons or drugs. Ulbricht was arrested in 2013 and is currently serving 2 life terms plus 40 years without the possibility of parole for his role in founding Silk Road. Finally, in his own manner, Trump pledged to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. And indeed, if he wants to do it, he can make it happen quite easily. First of all, he can employ legal solutions, especially considering the fact that the Republicans will apparently hold the majority in both chambers of the Congress. A new Senate with a Republican majority could be key to passing the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, or FIT 21, that was passed by the House of Representatives earlier this year. The most important thing is that there is legal and regulatory clarity and that the crypto industry in the U.S. continues to develop. This would lead to new, high-quality projects, use cases, and companies, which can only benefit the development of the world of digital assets and one of the most promising new technologies, blockchain. Trump promised all kinds of things, and very soon we will see how many of his promises he will keep. And with Donald Trump's crypto promises, we have come to the end of today's daily report. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and we would also greatly appreciate it if you clicked on subscribe. Thank you for following us, and kind regards.